You did take an Agni Pariksha, as Valmiki Ramayana says, in Ayodhya itself, after uniting with her. But that's not good enough for the people of Ayodhya. They want to have to see the Agni Pariksha with their own eyes.
Yeah, the people wanted to see tamasha, I think.
I can father a play, but I cannot mother a play. Mothering takes a lot of patience of other kind and other kind of mindset and all that. So every version of Shakespeare was different till a standard version was made after several years. Today's audience, we also have a duty to introduce new terms and new words. If we keep on reducing ourselves to the कि आज के लोग अच्छा ये नहीं समझते हैं, then we'll be doing plays in the WhatsApp language to celebrate Ankh on completing 50 years. And it's not just 50 years, the number of shows which they have done. Hi Dipan, sorry I was late, but
We were just talking about your play. We talked about Ankh and then we.
yes, I came about 20 minutes back, so I've been listening to you.
Oh.
And the whole thing about
In the wings.
Ankh in the wings and about play.
So now she's explained her point of view. So now let's hear yours. She said आपने प्ले इनको सुनाया था तो आपने कैसे ये प्ले डिस्कवर किया और आपने क्या इस पे देखा that you wanted to do in today's.
आगा हशर कश्मीरी में आगा हशर कश्मीरी में कुछ ऐसा नहीं कि उनको कहीं डिस्कवर करना है. ही इज़ अमंगस्ट अस. वी नो ऑफ many of his great plays like रुस्तम सोराब, like यहूदी की लड़की, like बिलवा मंगल, like सीता बनवास, the whole repertoire of plays which he wrote. One of the most successful, not only playwrights, but also a very successful scenario writer for the silent cinema days. And then, of course, in the sound cinema also, for about 5 years of sound cinema that he saw between 31 and 36, till he died in Lahore. So,
He died in Lahore?
he died in Lahore.
Oh.
Because Lahore also was a center of the film industry.
Yes.
So he'd gone there for some film work, and Lahore also was a great center for theatre making. That's why Imtiaz Ali Taj, who wrote the first draft of Mughal-e-Azam, so to say, Anarkali, the play, was also made by him in 1920 in Lahore. Imtiaz Ali Taj has also written a book about Agha Hashar Kashmiri, being his senior and being such a great playwright. So, so it was not something one had not heard of or anything. But I have been reading some plays, and when I read this play, it touched me so much. And it is such a fresh play and such a modern play. The kind of female characters that he's created there. There are two main female characters. One is the Dhobi ki wife, that he calls Rajaki, because Rajak is a word for Dhobi in Sanskrit and Hindi. And Rajaki is the wife. And we know the famous story that how he kicked the wife out because she had spent a night outside without asking the husband's permission. And then also taunted that I am no Ram who can keep a woman who has lived in somebody else's house. And how it led Ram, how this incident was reported to Ram, and was told that the people have not yet taken kindly to Sita, and kindly to the fact that she is here without giving Agni Pariksha. You did take an Agni Pariksha, as Valmiki Ramayana says, in Ayodhya itself, after uniting with her. But that's not good enough for the people of Ayodhya. They want to have to see the Agni Pariksha with their own eyes. And which Ram did not want to subject Sita to another Agni Pariksha. मतलब हर साल ये कोई पॉल्यूशन चेक नहीं है कि जो हर 6 महीने में आपको कराना पड़ेगा और एक सर्टिफिकेट.
Yeah, the people wanted to see tamasha, I think.
Seriously, it was like a pollution check that whether Sita is polluted or not, to which Ram refused to. Very kind of him. But then also abandoned her, which was not so kind of him perhaps. And this man writing a play on this incident and creating two very strong women characters, that was something which touched me a lot. And I thought that if I get a good producer, because I have never made a group. As I often say, I can father a play, but I cannot mother a play. mothering takes a lot of patience of other kind and other kind of mindset and all that. So I've never been able to mother a play. I've fathered many productions. So, but fortunately, Preeta ji has been approaching me for a long time. And this year I thought I could take some time out and we could do this play. And I have been getting unquestioned support from her, whatever I have asked for. She did tell me initially that, well, this is the kind of a budget we have in mind, but I said, yes, 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 very good. But I seriously don't know the rates of the milk and the chana and the dal. So I did not know that how much more or less it will be spent. So, but she has never questioned me about anything that I've been spending with the play or I've been creating in the play. I designed the play as well. I mean, designed the set
And he's written some lovely songs for the play.
and then I wrote some songs because somehow Agha Ashraf Kashmiri's songs in this play, though he started as a poet when he was in the class 8th. That means class 8th, he must have been about 12, 13. And he started as a poet, Urdu poet, and Farsi poet. But somehow his songs are not too good in this play. Also, there is a problem because these plays were often written by other people. Those who were the writers and went to see a show, and to steal the show, they used to write these scripts for themselves. Agha Ashraf Kashmiri, having written a script and kept it safely and then giving it to the publisher, that was not done. It's like Shakespeare plays, which are all written sitting in the theatre by the people. So every version of Shakespeare was different till a standard version was made after several years. So this is how this also worked. And some of the plays were almost lost when the first collection of Agha Ashraf Kashmiri plays were published by the National School of Drama in Devanagari Lipi, in Hindi Lipi. So Anis Azmi, the gentleman who edited this whole anthology of his plays, could not find many of the plays. So he had to source them from all over the world, some from Pakistan, some from India, from different libraries, etc., etc. So the gathering of the plays itself was a great task for him. But it's such a wonderful play, Deepa. And I'm not saying because we are doing it. Of course, we do something only when we like it. But the play itself is such a modern play, and I hope that engages people. It also enlightens them and entertains them.
So in terms of staging, are you using a classical style of staging or you modernize it in any way?
I would say that it is influenced by the Parsi theatre, but to say that it is Parsi theatre is wrong. Because for Parsi theatre, you need a particular kind of a stage. And in Prithvi, which is a modern stage itself, in Parsi play will never be done with a kind of a projected stage, which comes in between the audience, where the audience is sitting on the three sides. So, so it cannot be a Parsi play at all. Parsi plays were basically proscenium plays
yeah.
with a lot of drops and things. We are using painted curtains, but in a different way. We are not using them as drops. We are using a lot of music, but again, a different music. We are using the heightened poetry and the rhyme verse which they used to use, which again is an interesting thing. We are also using a lot of Eude Machina, which the term comes from the Greek theatre, where a lot of kind of mini machines are used to create your theatre. So we are also trying to make these mini machines and work with them. Because there are interesting things in the plays, Parsi plays, if you have seen them. Some of them used to be happening in Bombay till a few years ago, I have heard. And otherwise, you can still go to Karnataka and see the company plays, or go to Telangana and see the company plays. So there will be a kind of a Olan Khatola there in the play or something, or a horse coming, so we are also trying to bring in these kind of elements. So there is a boat coming in the play, there is a rath coming in the play, there is अब पृथ्वी में तो हम
Horse
जमीन
coming.
फाड़ के कहाँ ले जाएंगे सीता को, तो उसके लिए कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा, लेकिन सीता का जमीन में जाना जरूरी है, जहाँ से वो पैदा हुई थी, जिस पृथ्वी की, जिस वसुंधरा की वो बेटी थी, और वहीं जाएगी उसी में, उसको कैसे करना है। तो ये सब चीज़ें जो हैं वो हमारे लिए भी चैलेंज है और ऑडियंस के लिए भी शायद मज़ेदार होंगी।
So have you designed it differently for a smaller space and differently for a larger?
No, that's not. So we have one standard design which can be taken to any theatre anywhere in the world. And Prithvi being the mini-most theatre, So if it fits in the mini Moss Theatre, then it can
Fitted
fit in
elsewhere,
any theatre as well.
But you yourself have done a lot of very good adaptations
Yes,
of classical plays,
yes,
Shakespeare's plays.
yes.
So when you started working with this play, did you make any changes? Did you have to kind of put in your own thought processes into
No, not at all.
language?
Not at all. I did not, because it was not an adaptation. His language is so beautiful. I wanted to use his language.
Language is very difficult for today's audience to
No, it is not. It is not. You see that today's audience, uh, we also have a duty to introduce new terms and new words. If we keep on reducing ourselves to the कि आज के लोग अच्छा ये नहीं समझते हैं, then तो we'll be doing plays in the WhatsApp language.
It is our
So that is not done.
responsibility to keep the standard high.
So if I'm adapting a Shakespeare, I may use a language today, but the imagery and everything should come from Shakespeare, or the brevity should come from Shakespeare. Otherwise, what's the fun? Then you are totally kind of making a, let's say, a comic book version of that play, which you shouldn't do, in my opinion. You should give them the taste of the original, with some changes, of course. Your serving will be a little different, but the taste of the original should be there. So that was the attempt, but definitely I have edited the play a little, because those were long plays which were done, and rewrote the songs. I mean, I wrote new songs for the play. I added a couple of songs which were not there in the play, because songs came as Parsi theatre had this tradition of the shallow curtain and the deep curtain. The deep curtain usually told the main story, and the shallow curtain told another story, or a
Yeah.
comic relief kind of a thing. We don't have that kind of a drops to kind of make shallow stage or something like, but that gave me chance to do a couple of new things in the play, the shallow curtain thing, so which I have used. I have brought in a couple of new things in the play which were not there, but keeping totally the part of the story. If he has referred to it, I have brought it on stage. If he has talked about it, then I have brought it on stage. Let's say he has a very fleeting mention in the play of Hanuman coming and fighting Love Kush. I made it to a full scene of Hanuman coming and fighting Love Kush and being defeated by the sons of Ram and Sita. So in the same way, he mentions that, oh, the Ashwamedh will happen, and where the horse will be let loose, and as much land the horse traverses will all belong to the king who has let the horse go after the yagna. So we have brought in the horse, and what happens then to the horse, etc., etc. So he has mentioned the horse, I have brought in the horse, but without any new dialogues and things. New songs, yes. And in new songs, naturally, when you are writing a new song, you'll not just be describing a story. Your thoughts will reflect in that. So that reflection we will see in the play.
So, Anuj, now that you have come into the unfold, can we expect both of you to be working together more in your future?
We work a lot together, and we have been working a lot together for 10, 12 years. It's not a question of me only doing plays or she only being my producer and boss. So,
Boss, really?
the producer is the boss. So, I'm from the old school. But otherwise, we do a lot of things together. Whatever play she's doing, I'm always there to kind of by her side, and to contribute whatever little I can do. So, of course, we have been
And he's already
collaborating. And
committed to designing my next play.
so, you see, if I'm not as a director, I'll be there as a designer or something else or whatever. So, we have been collaborating with each other, seriously, Deepa, and you can ask her whether I'm telling truth or not. So, it's not that it's the only relationship which we have. We have other dimensions of this relationship, and which will
I
keep
have to
going
tell
on.
you this, that when all the time that Dineshji was not well, whenever Atulji would go out of the city and whenever he would come in, the first place that he would come would be to our place. कि सब ठीक तो है, how are you all? Phone पे बात हो रही है, but he'd come and check in on us all the time. A lot of support.
So good. I hope this play will get its audience it deserves, and I hope 50 साल के बाद भी आप लोग हम इनको जिंदा रखें।
हाँ
बिल्कुल, ये तो बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है 50 साल किसी भी ग्रुप के पूरे करना। एंड आई वाज जस्ट थिंकिंग व्हाइल लिसनिंग टू दीपा यू एंड टू प्रीता जी is that as you might know that Natrang Pratishthan
हाँ
has been doing a great work in Delhi. Nemichand Jainji's and Rekha
yes
Jainji's
yes yes
group.
yes
And one of the things which we have done this year is a program of contacting those theatre groups who have contributed a lot in last several years all over the country. And they are having a little festival of those groups and a long archival interviews with those groups, calling them and celebrating those groups. Darpan Lucknow was just celebrated last week. So I'm wishing, I'm hoping, I'm praying that they call you next year, if not this year. Similarly, to celebrate Ankh on completing 50 years. And it's not just 50 years, the number of shows which they have done. Once I was calculating after Dineshji's death. So it seems Dineshji spent about 20,000 evenings on stage in his life.
my gosh
20,000 evenings is, translated, if you divide it by 365, you'll see that he has been there on stage for 20 years or so. So, in a life which was 60 plus, but one third of your life being on stage, it's too long a time, especially in a country like India, where the shows are few and far between, where the kind of theatres which we need for Hindi theatre are not there or hardly there. And you know how the theatre scene is. I don't have to explain it to you. So, in such a scenario, to have so many shows for so many years, it has been a great work done by Ankh and Dineshji. And so we are so grateful to Pitaji who has continued this great work after Dineshji.
So all the best.